Good morning, everyone. I'm Lori from Lori's Country Cottage, and this is Anything Goes Thursday. I'm going to show you a quick quilt-as-you-go table runner. We've got a great pattern for, and I'm going to tell you about a fat quarter and a fat eighth. So let's get at it. I've got a couple of different camera angles today, so this might be one of those blooper shows. So let's see what happens. So I'll turn this around first of all. So this is the Quilt-as-you-go table runner, and we did it in Valentine's. We did up a kit, and the kit actually has the red border and an optional zinger. And I put the red as a zinger, and then I thought, oh, now what do I put? That's what happens in a kit, right? Oh, now what do I do? And so I had to head over to the store and I got some border fabric. So if you do it right, you will have the border fabric in the red, border and binding. You can add a colored zinger to that if you want. Here is a Christmas variety, and there is no zinger on it. It's right up to the border. The zinger is the small border. This one has a zinger, and that's right here. Sometimes they call it an inner border. I don't know where a zinger came from, but that's what we call it, is a zinger. So if in the past you have bought this pattern, which is revised to this pattern, bring it to the store and we'll give you a brand new one. So if you already have this one, we'll give you a revised of this one. So I'm going to now try another camera angle. We'll see what happens here. Right now. Okay, here I am again. Let's see. I had this set up and then I moved it this morning. So we'll see if I need to move it again. So here is a fat quarter, and you can't see all of it. A fat quarter, if you don't know, a bolt of fabric was 45 inches. Now they come in anywhere from 40 to 45 inches. Depends on what they start with and how much it shrinks as they work with it, as they do their printing, etc., and mercerizing to do the pre-shrinking. So what we do is cut half a yard, so 18 inches, and then we cut it on the on the fold. So it's fold to salvage, so you get a wider piece of fabric than you would with a quarter meter, pardon me. So it's 18 by 20 inches. That's what a fat quarter is. Anywhere 20 to 22 and a half. So a fat eighth is half of that. And I really wanted you to be able to see that. Maybe you can now. There you go. So a fat eighth is half of that, 9 by approximately 20 inches. And that's what this table runner takes. So if you get fat quarters, which are more readily available, and you cut that in half, you'd have 2 fat eighths out of each fat quarter. Takes 4 different colors. I guess you can put as many colors as you want, but this pattern takes 4 different colors of fat eighths. So if you get fat quarters, you can make 2 table runners with that 4 bunch of fat quarters. So what you do is you layer all 4 of your fat eighths, and then you want to cut. And you want to cut at an angle. So you want to measure at this end and at this end, and you cut. And you cut through them all the same. Maybe you couldn't even see me. Now the next cut, I'm going to put the wider end at this end and the narrower end at this end and cut. And it's just random cuts. Not like that when your ruler moves, but random cuts. And so you're going to cut one way with the narrow edge at the top and then one way with the wide edge at the top, so that you keep cutting all the way through your fat eighth. Okay, then I used a fusible bat, and Hobbs has a very nice fusible bat that I like to use, especially for table runners, especially for things that are often folded up for a long time, because the polyester in that batting, it's 80 cotton, 20 poly. The poly in that helps to keep the memories away, if you want to say, is that if you have a fold in there, it doesn't hold the fold. And so if I have it packed away like this, because it's my Christmas table runner, when I lay it out, again, it will lay much flatter than using one of the heavier, we used to use Thermolam a lot, heavier types of batting like that. And so that is the Hobbs cotton. It's fusible on two sides. So what you want to do, I'm going to just take this away for a second and pretend we're just starting, is you want to put your batting on your ironing board, lay your backing on top of that, and you want to press. And you're going to need to press fairly hard, and this was all pressed on, but you can pull it off. I had this all ready to go, and my grandchildren thought it was really nice stuff, and so they saw that, oh, and so they picked it all off. So it isn't adhered. Well, it is a little bit, but it was all adhered. And so if you press this, yes, you could put a pressing sheet underneath here on your ironing board and press, and you do need to press fairly long for it to adhere. But if you only press it long enough for it to adhere to the top, it takes a little bit to get through all of this and to the other side to adhere to your ironing board. To be safe, you could use a pressing sheet under that. I didn't, and I had no problem. But those are famous last words. You do what you want to do, because you might not want batting stuck to your ironing board. So what you want to do is mark where the edge of your, in from the edge of your batting with a pen that is permanent or not. If you use a permanent pen, a Pigma pen, if you have light colors, you may see it through. So I actually used a friction pen, and the friction pens disappear with heat. And so even just from rubbing on them with the end of the pen, the color or the line will disappear. What do you think would happen when you iron it? Disappears. So you have to be a little bit careful with that when you work on that. One thing that happens with the friction pens is when it's cold out, like it is today, and you leave this in your car and you have washed or ironed away all of your lines, those lines may reappear. That's a little bit of a problem, but once you wash that, they won't come back. And so just so that if you get something all marked and you have ironed away all those lines and it's looking beautiful, and you take it to show somebody, those lines may reappear if you leave it in your car for a long time. The coolness, the cold will make it reappear. A cool fall day or a cool summer day is not going to do it, but our cold winter days will do it. So what you want to do is measure in. Your back and your batting should be a bit bigger. I've got mine just about exact here because I did a small one just to show you. So you want to measure in and make a straight line. Then you want to make another line for your border, and you want to be sure that when you mark that you're watching the line. I don't know if you can see this or not. That you can see that your line here and here, actually here and here, is straight before you do this, so you don't end up with a funny corner right here. Okay, then you want to measure in the length of your strip. So our piece is 9 by 20, so 9 inches, my 9 inches down, And this needs to be parallel with this. So what you can do is use a couple of rulers. I would line this one up here and put another ruler here to measure down the additional that I need to come to 9 inches. Then I marked, and then you do the same thing at this end. And then to do the quilt as you go, I've got a couple of pieces on here. But what you do is you line up your first piece with the straight edge with the narrow edge down, all along here. Then you put the first strip on. If you got a narrow edge here, a narrow edge goes to the top, and you lay it over. Now we'll just jump ahead to the next one so I can show you. So I've got a narrow edge here. I put a narrow edge at the other. I line it up along here and I stitch, and I want to do a little back stitch here and a little back stitch here. And you don't want to go too far past, because those will be your quilting lines on the back. And so you want to make sure that when you get to the end of that strip, you are, or to the line, I guess, you are finished. Then you want to press this, and you can take your iron, be careful because there is fusible on here. Press this carefully to the away from your stitching seam. And now here, I've got the narrow edge here. I want to put the narrow edge there. I just line it up. And I can use my 1/4 inch foot to just do a 1/4 inch seam. And then again, I'm going to press it and go on to the next one. Now, if you can imagine that this is all finished all the way to the end, and if it ends up that you've got a part strip at the end, that doesn't matter. We'll just redraw that line, and that will be our edge. So once you've got that all, if you imagine this is all stitched, all the pieces are on here. If you can't see this line, and you can't see it here, I would take my pen and I would mark again over top, because I know that needs to be the line that my zinger or my border needs to go on. So I will line that up right on the line, and then I will go to the machine and I'll sew it, and then I press it away from the strips. And you're going to do that on your, it doesn't matter which side you do first, on your long edges, and then you can do it on your short edges. And if that was your border, it would run right to the edge and you'd be done. Now, if you are using the Hobbs batting, it really needs to be quilted every 4 inches. 4 inches is about that much. So you want to be able to, or have it that it is quilted that much. Now my little Valentine table runner I did is quite a wide border. So I think I need to do a couple of lines in there, and you only need to do a couple of lines. What happens is when you, if you don't quilt it enough, they say that the batting will fall. And what happens when it falls is it bunches up. If you can remember the old polyester duvets that you may have, and after you've washed them a number of times, and not that many times, but a number of times, the batting kind of migrates and it's globby. And that's what'll happen to this. And it won't take lots of washes. It'll take very few. I had a quilt that needed to be quilted every 10 inches. I quilted a border 6 inches within the quilt and washed it thinking I had enough. It was 6 inches all the way along. Not every 6 inches, just 6 inches all along. That batting fell. And so then what I needed to do, which you don't want to do, is kind of mush it around in there, and then I did quilt it, and now it's held. But that is something you don't want to happen to your quilts. Back to my table runner. Once you've got your borders on, you can quilt if you want to in that border. And like I said, you don't need to quilt the whole thing, but you need to make sure that it is held enough. And so remember the the fist, the 4-inch quilting. Some of them are 10 inches, but think about 10 inches. If your table runner is 50 inches, that is 4 by 50, and so it may fall. And I'm not saying it's going to, but your batting may fall, so you may want to do some quilting in there. I think that is it for that. I've got a couple other things to tell you. I'm just checking to see if anyone had any questions. Well, I hope some of you learned something from that. We do have a kit to make that. Remember, I said that the border is the, looks like I got everything here. The border is red, not the floral or not the hearts that I put on it, and I think it'll be a much prettier wall or prettier table runner with the red on the outside. And that's what I thought when I brought it here looking for a border. I thought, oh, I wish I would have put this on the border. Duh. Anyhow, a couple of other things is today is our anniversary sale. When we were 25 years old, and when we were 25, I wish I was 25, when the store was 25 years old, we started on the 25th of the month. We did a discount. The high temperature of the day is the discount in the store on everything, whatever you want, except block of the months, the special order items, holds, and any other promotions that are on. So if it's your birthday, do you know that the day before, the day of, and the day after your birthday, you get 20% off? So if it's your birthday today, you want to come in and get your 20% off. Don't mess around with the 15 that everyone else gets. But everyone else gets 15% off today for our anniversary sale. Now that is in store only. When I mentioned this on Facebook before, there was some questions that, oh, what about us online people? Some people can't come to the store, or they live a distance away that they aren't going to make it in today to take advantage of our 15% off sale. So if that is you, you are lucky, because Saturday after close, we will have 28% off a whole bunch of stuff on our website. So watch for that. It's after close Saturday. We close at 4 till midnight on Sunday. So you have lots of time to do some shopping, do some online shopping, and have some fun. I think that might be all I have to say. Remember, the anniversary sale is today, 15%, and next month again on the 28th, we will do it again, because this year, I never said that, this year we will be 28 years old. So I will just grab my camera and show you those table runners one more time. I'm going to have to just flip her around so you don't see me. And there is the Valentine one with the kit. We don't have kits for the other ones at this time. Remember, if you have the old pattern, we have a new revised pattern with a different cover. And so you are entitled to get that for free. Bring your old one in, and the girls, just take one off the shelf. The girls will bring it in for you at 100% discount. There's the Halloween one. And our Halloween fabric will be coming sooner than we can imagine. And then the Christmas. And next year there is a little bit more Christmas like this. I know there were lots of people who were looking for this kind of Christmas, which used to be, Hoffman did a beautiful Christmas line that was much of these fabrics. And I would just order the whole line because they were lovely. But that's not what's been happening lately. And so this year, can you believe I have my Christmas fabric ordered for next year, and there is a bit more of that, and so that's encouraging. So one other thing over here is some Valentine fabric. Remember, the 20-minute table runner is quick and easy, and there's a delightful stripe there that would be great for any of those fabrics for the edge. And so the 20-minute table runner is on our Facebook videos. And so you can just scoot to the website and take a look for that. And you can whip up a 20-minute table runner and enjoy. So we'll either see you in the store with our anniversary sale, or we'll see your orders on the weekend for the anniversary sale as well. And so I wish you all a good day. Happy quilting. Bye for now. It's Lori from Lori's Country Cottage.